Okay, so we're pulling some stuff. The first one is in C21. Bingo! I always pick up vintage glasses. Vintage eyeglasses, vintage... These are technically considered safety glasses. I bought them at an estate sale, and they were less than $1. And they're just horn rim, cool old safety glasses. Next is F74. F74. Bingo! Corvette. This came off a snapback hat, but the hat was completely gone. There was no saving it. So it has this hat pin and this. It's sold for like $5, but literally I asked how much the hats were, and I was like, oh wait, this one's too far gone. And she's like, just take it if you can do something with it. And I was like, I'll pull the patch, sewn on patch, and the hat pin. And so I have nothing into this, and it sold for $5 plus shipping. This one is in N11. It's this hoodie, 2XL, local college, like a small college in a town about an hour from here. But this stuff sells, guys. It doesn't have to be Duke or Purdue. The local college stuff, those kids want to have cool stuff too. Here in QR2, see if I can do this without breaking my neck. I have what I suspect, I'll be surprised if it's not a viewer sale. It's this Cartman shirt. And the guy paid shipping, and it's literally in town here. I would prefer to ship it as opposed to doing local pickup. But I didn't figure he would prefer to pay shipping. But he did. Maybe he doesn't realize that we're right here in town. Did you know that in Brazil, they don't spell Brazil with a Z the way that we do? They spell it with an S. Brazil. This is what's called a 5-panel hat. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-panel. It's a different type of hat. Still a baseball hat snapback. And this is unbranded. So it didn't sell for much because it's just a super cheap generic hat, but it's cool. It's got some cool factor to it. 49, we have some video games. Oh, this is going to be clear at the bottom. It's PF Flyer shoes. I do this sometimes when I'm pulling yard sale price tags off of stuff. I don't know. Did I say PF Chang's instead of PF Flyers? It's definitely not a Chinese restaurant. It's some Converse style shoes that I believe predate Converse. Paid $5 for these sometime over the summer. Took them longer to sell than I expected, and they didn't sell for as high as I thought they would, but they sold. My beautiful wife and I are at Goodwill in a town that we never go to because we had the kids overnight with family for the first time in like 8 years. And she needs a shirt for an upcoming event. And so we're gonna peruse. But you know me, I'm gonna find some stuff. But last time I was in this Goodwill, it was crazy. And that was before all the Goodwills were crazy. So let's see what happens. But it's huge. Peekaboo. So this is a kind of cool shirt. $3.99. Jazzin' Nolans, which is the way you say New Orleans if you're from New Orleans. And then the back hit's pretty cool. Fun. All right on the rack. $3.99. Tommy Essential. Made in the USA 2X. It's double stitch, but maybe it's double stitch in the sleeve. Yeah. This Plano hat by Swingster, made in the US. The foam is gone, but it still stands up, so it's probably pretty good as long as their hats are cheap. Well, I just picked up this Intellivision. It's $9, and it's not sealed, but it doesn't look like it's been messed with. It looks like it's new open box. I ended up putting the Intellivision back because there just weren't There were 10 sold and maybe 30 something listed. So it just didn't make sense. Right, so we are an hour and a half drive from home. And there's some furniture here, and I don't really mess with furniture anymore, but I want to show it to you anyway. These chairs are from an extremely high-end company, and that is their symbol. These are Herman Miller vintage. These are shell chairs, but they're not the shell chairs. These are vintage IKEA 1999 IKEA chairs. They're $8 a piece. They probably clean up. I'm gonna comp these because they'd be easy to ship because the legs pull off. IKEA 1999, but I'm gonna see if I can find the name. Well, I was a little distracted at the Goodwill, and so that's kind of where the video ends. I ended up finding a lot of not great stuff, but some pretty solid bread and butter stuff. The chairs, 5 or 6 years ago, I would have picked up because I really like dealing with chairs and I was making a lot of money. These are the chairs that you want to find. This shape with that Herman Miller symbol on them. If they're that shape and they're not the Herman Miller symbol, then they're probably not worth much at all. So keep an eye out for those. Okay, so I'm assuming that you guys are seeing this on Friday, and for me it is Monday. So we're gonna go over some things that I'm pulling to ship this morning. At 23 items, I think. Dark Tower instruction booklet sold. This Disney Adventures, I sold this one for quite a bit of money. It went to GSP, so the buyer paid quite a bit. I've also sold this one, the one with the Mighty Ducks on it, and then I have a lot listed. So these Disney Adventures do well, but this one did so well because it's Goosebumps. These 3 Nintendo controllers, I got a million Nintendo controllers, and I'm slowly selling through all of them. Here an L40 of this red corduroy Gulf Shores hat that I picked up for $1 at a yard sale. Vintage corduroy snapbacks normally do well. I picked this up for $1. It didn't sell for a bunch, but I'll make money. It was easy money. In here we have more controllers, and one of these big, I gotta figure out which one's which. So this is a giant NES. It's called a Fight Stick. It emulates the like an arcade cabinet, and it's they sell reasonably well, but they're heavy. I was at a church sale like a month ago, and they had 3 pairs of these baby Jordans for $1 a pair. This is the second ones that I sold. Here's the first ones, and these sold for $15 plus shipping. So baby Jordans are super easy to sell. This Swamp Thing pin, Legion of Collectors, it's kind of like a Bambox subscription loot crate thing. Legion of Collectors is. Swamp Thing is always a popular character. This sold for $10 free shipping. Not a ton of money. These pins aren't quick sellers, but they're good inventory to get and list. Super easy to list, super easy to ship, super easy to store. So, you know, a little bit of work gets you a lot of listings and money trickling in. So a whole lot of trickles becomes a torrent. How philosophical of me. Zelda, this is for the Game Boy Color. Maybe it's just a regular Game Boy. Yeah, just regular Game Boy. DX. The thing about Zelda games and a lot of these games is they save. They have a battery inside this cartridge, a watch battery, and you have to have a special screwdriver to take it apart to change the battery. So you want to test these and make sure that they either have a saved file or will save a file, because it makes a difference to the person who's buying it. If it's not going to save their game, then they're going to either want to change the battery or buy one that has a good battery. You can change these yourself fairly simply. You can buy the batteries for like $1, and if you've got a soldering gun, it's about as easy as it can possibly be. But this one did save already, And so, it wasn't in great shape. You can see somebody wrote their name on it and then tried to erase it. And then there was a sticker residue, and I didn't clean it up. I sold it for $40, free shipping, which was about $3 below the lowest one. And it sold in minutes. To a yard sale, and I found a bunch of these, like 25 of them, different characters, for like $1 a piece. These sold for like $10 free shipping, but I gave a bunch to my sons too, so that was the point of buying them. And then I listed anything that was doubles to make some money back. Bought a whole bunch of horror VHS. This one is in terrible condition, as you can see, and it sold anyway, not for very much money, but I've made a ton of money on horror VHS. This is a fairly common hat, snapback trucker mesh with the recognizable logo. Doesn't sell for a ton of money, but I normally pick it up for $1, and I've probably sold 8 or 10 of these. More Dark Tower. This is just a single scorecard and 10 of these little pegs. Okay, so let's talk about this one. This is the Eagles Hell Freezes Over 1994 tour t-shirt. It's on the Giant label. I'll flip it around here. That's the Giant tag. That's a good tag to look out for. This has the Hotel California front. It is single stitch. And for all those reasons, I paid about $50 for that t-shirt. Assuming that I could make a little bit of money. I'm not sure that I did make very much money. And I sat on it for a long time. It's one of those things that I would call a vanity buy. I'm like, this is cool and I want to own it. And so I spent what I assumed was about half of market value on it, but then I overestimated market value. And so it's come down since I bought it. And so it's a cool piece. If you find that at Goodwill, the thrift store, 10, 15 bucks, it is worth picking up. For 50, I didn't do so hot. Marvin the Martian, $15 free shipping, one of only 250 made, limited edition, just a pin. The pins are easy money. Vintage McDonald's trucker snapback. This came from that McDonald's manager that I bought all those hats and pins from. I was hoping against hope when I found this one that I would be able to find this one as well, but it didn't happen. I mean, I got some really good hats, but those 3 stripes are always good, and that McDonald's 3 stripe is a really sought after one. So where were we at when you told me to make a YouTube video?
Ollie's, and it is bananas. They're so, like, they buy the stuff that other stores couldn't sell, and so it's like discontinued Disney toys and boxes and stuff, and it is all the money.
So like
Nemo,
Joy Remix, these are all $5. Nemo, Judah already told me I have to buy the Syndrome one just to have it. That's fun. The Big Brother from Onward. And these are like pretty obscure Disney figs, right? There's a Duke Kaboom. Nobody likes Duke Kaboom.
It's not fair. Why, Rajon?
Syndrome. Keep asking me about these. I'm going to need to comp them. Tomorrowland, which was not a big movie, but it is kind of a big deal for Disney fans. So this is $3.99. Here's a G.I. Joe. What year is that from? Obviously, it's not vintage. Turn it around and look at the package and see what year it's from.
Dad. 2021.
2021. I'm going to comp that too. For how much is that one? $3.99. Rawr. Those are cool. So we were at the Ollie's, which is it's almost like Amazon returns, only what they're doing is store closeouts and buybacks and that kind of thing. And leftover inventory, but it tends to be 3, 4, 5 years old and still new in package, new old stock at this point. So if you find the right properties, they can be worth picking up. They can be something that is now sought after that wasn't before, or didn't hit the market right, or the market's gone up since it sold. So let me show you what I did get. I ended up spending $177 on 23 pieces, which puts me at $7.70, and that includes sales tax. So we got these 6. I got 2 of the Syndrome because I intend to keep one of them. There's a bunch of this Al's Toy Barn. I probably should have gotten more of those. And Pete the Prospector. Those all do well. I don't know about the Ants guy does pretty well. So I was reserved. I was conservative in the store today because I wanted to kind of test the waters and see how things get before I really got into them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Luca character and only 4 of his brother, Alberto, because the other ones were damaged. Like this thing was folded down. There was some pretty bad damage. These characters, I know I've had this plush, like the full-size 80s plush of that Lurky several times, and it does well. So I recognized that guy immediately and thought that was neat. And then these, man, I looked everywhere for Harold Ramis, and I just wasn't coming up with him. But I'll throw some comps up. I spent $177. I'll add it up and put it on the screen. This is what I think the gross will be, just like sales dollars on this stuff. And it's Q4, so this is the kind of stuff that'll sell.